Okay, just give me a second to verify if we are currently live. Okay, I believe we should be live, right? Okay, I think we're live. Perfect. So, again, hello everyone. Welcome to the 51st community call. I'm Robert, a developer advocate at the Starknet Foundation, and I will be your host for today. We're excited to have Sylv, our invited speaker for this session. Well, Sylv is the co-founder of Brick, the NFT building protocol on Starknet, a member of the Builder Council, aka governance facilitator, and many, among other things, such as head of vibes at Dojo. Our focus for today's discussion is about the governance update, covering topics such as the role of the Builders Council within the Starknet ecosystem, expansion changes to the Builders Council, and the recent voting proposal. For our viewers, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the YouTube chat section, and we'll do our best to address them. Welcome, Sylv. I'm super excited to have you here and learn more about the governance update. Sylv, how are you? How is everything going?
Living the dream. Thanks a lot for having me here. Excited to speak more about governance.
Awesome. So to kick things off, could you walk us through what is the Builders Council? How does this work, and how this thing came to fruition?
Absolutely. So to explain what the Builder Council does, I think it's important to understand the vision that Starknet has about governance. The end goal is decentralization. Decentralization has two main aspects. One is technical. The decentralization of a network is all the good stuff that we love about blockchain regarding censorship resistance, regarding permissionlessness, regarding the fact that basically no one can tell you what to do on the network, and you're a free citizen of the Starknet nation in a sense. That is for the technical bit. The issue is that in order to move the technical bits, you need to work with messy humans. You need to agree on how exactly the code is going to work, what kind of upgrade we make. And even though we all agreed that we want a decentralized, fast, and cheap network, we also need to agree on how those changes are made and how those changes are implemented. And it's the philosopher Wittgenstein who said that most philosophical problems are communication problems, and I very much believe that this is what this part of decentralization works about. So, two parts of decentralization of Starknet. The first about how do we decentralize the network. You have some really good community forum posts by Ilya from Starkware explaining how we're going to have different nodes, how the Stark token will be used to secure the network, all that good stuff. And my job, and the job of the governance committee appointed by the Starknet Foundation, is to put in place the decision processes and the bodies, a little like a government in a sense, to make sure that we can discuss those changes in order to move forward and to enact the changes that you have overall. The thing is, if you don't have rules, you have rules anyways, but it's just better to have them being very explicit. So currently on Starknet, we're on the road to full-on decentralization, both on the governance side and on the technical side. In the meantime, we've implemented a couple of things to help the network bootstrap its legitimacy and its governing bodies, which is the mandate of the governance committee. So currently on Starknet, what are we voting on? How is governance practiced? The topics of governance currently are regarding protocol upgrades. We have had three of them, V011, V012, and V013. They've arrived about 6 months delay every time, and the latest one was 013 a couple weeks ago. The way those changes are enacted on the network is Starkware, which is and other contributors to the ecosystem, propose a version called V013 that is put up to a vote, and token holders, voters, are able to vote. The current voters are three main groups. The first are core contributors and token holders. These are either people who are contributing to the network and have a stake of stock token that is represented in the form of voting power. Early investors in the project. The second are delegates. And because the token is currently not, and the voting power is not currently available for all, the way we're doing this is the Stocknet Foundation, which is delegating a portion of its voting power to these delegates. So there is 500 million tokens worth of voting power that is being delegated to some hundreds of delegates. And those have been extremely active. And the third group is the one I'm responsible of, and it's called the Builder Council. The objective of the Builder Council was to have a, let's consider it a voting block comprised of legitimate and experts in terms of building applications and infrastructure on Stocknet. These are tried and true entrepreneurs and builders in the ecosystem. And the Builder Council holds 1.2 billion tokens worth of voting power. The way the council operates, it acts as a sounding board for all tech teams. So all tech teams on Stocknet are free to call us up, discuss any kind of details, and which is what happened for the version 0.13. Stockware called us multiple times. We exchanged opinions. We asked for clarifications before going for a vote, a bit like how it would work in a normal democracy. It's much better to discuss the intricacies and the details of the law before it goes for a vote to the parliament. So think of the Builder Council as either the Supreme Court or a voting bloc within the parliament. And I would say that we've been doing a pretty good job. We've voted 3 times. We have had multiple calls and discussion with Stockware about everything. And yeah, I'm very happy about our job so far.
Awesome. Thank you for that great introduction.
I would also add that if you want to know more about governance, you can go on governance.stocknet.io. I'll just set it on the chat. And you have all the information about how governance works, what kind of votes have been put to vote, who voted, etc., who the delegates are. You can even yourself create a delegate profile and put yourself up for delegation. And fourth, you can have more details about the Builder Council, how we voted, and who the members are.
Great, thank you. And just wanted to follow up with a question regarding the delegation. What would be the steps? If you could walk us through, for someone to become a delegate on Stocknet, what would be the process and how this works?
Absolutely. Think of it as you want to become a member of the parliament. And the way you become a member of the parliament is you have to campaign, you have to convince people to give you their vote, basically. We're doing what is called liquid delegation, meaning that contrary to normal democracies, we don't have elections, we don't have a set date or a mandate for 4 years. Everyone can become a delegate at any point in time, and anyone can stop being a delegate at any point in time. So if you want to become a delegate, my advice is you go on governance.stocknet.io, you connect your wallet there, you create a profile, and you explain what your interests are, what your profile is, and why you should be selected to become a delegate. And there are mainly 2 kinds of people that can delegate voting power to you. The first are token holders overall. If you see the delegates, I think one of them has 20 million worth of voting power, and this is a governance DAO, I think, that receives delegation from a token holder. So that's one way of doing it. And the second is you receive delegation from the ongoing delegation that the foundation is doing. So here, create your profile. The governance committee reviews these profiles regularly, and we redelegate every so often. We try to make sure that before every new vote, we have a fresh new set of delegates. So governance.stocknet.io, create your profile, put a nice picture, and go on a campaign.
Awesome. Sounds fun. Definitely involves quite a lot of things to do, and they're super exciting. So if you haven't If you're interested in becoming a delegate, make sure to access the website, the governance.starknet.io, and then there you'll find enough information. And also, if you want to participate in these voting procedures, then you can do so. Awesome. So, I think kind of like my follow-up question. So recently we had the latest voting proposals, which was a StarkNet version 0.13. Could you tell us how that voting process went, and if you encountered any goods and bads, and things like this? You're on mute.
My bad. V013 upgrade had two main components. One was regarding the introduction of what are called V3 transactions, which will eventually allow for payment of transaction fees in currencies other than ETH. So this is a great stepping stone. And consider this upgrade as more of a feature flag, meaning that this has been enabled. It is possible to do, but the systems haven't been put in place. So we've built the house, but we're not yet living in there. And the process of having this gradual release process is to make sure that all the wallets, all the libraries, everyone that relies on this change has time to enact those changes. The second part of this upgrade was regarding improvements to transaction fees. So there's a saying in supply chain, such as you manage things by the bottleneck. And for a long time, this bottleneck has been transaction speed, which is not as much of an issue since 0.12, which was released in July. So now the new bottleneck is transactions are a bit expensive. So what can we do to reduce them? And so there's been a range of tricks that has been implemented, which tremendously reduced the cost. So you can see, I think there was a recent tweet by the Avenue team which decreased their transaction cost by like 30%. So this has been going really great. As far as the vote went, we had taken into consideration a lot of the feedback that came around for the last votes, which means that for this particular upgrade, V013 spent a full month on the integration environments that Stockworks shares with key partners so that they can test more thoroughly. We spent a full month on testnet as well, and the vote lasted for a week. And here, I think the biggest improvement, which was greatly appreciated by members of the Builder Council, was that it greatly enhanced the stability of the tools and the libraries upon release of the upgrade on mainnet, meaning that once the upgrade was deployed on mainnet after the yes on the vote, everyone could just hit the ground running. There was less of a need to change and tweak things. So in that sense, it was a great enhancement in terms of stability.
Great, awesome to hear that, and yeah, definitely the proposal went really good. I also noticed that the total delegates, they were quite active in all the three voting proposals, and the activity stayed the same, or I think even the latest one it kind of increased a bit. So that's really nice.
It did. It's really good. If you look at the total number of delegates, we have like a 85 to 90% participation rate, which is very, very, very high.
Yeah, definitely great to see. We have a question from Sina. Basically, it's not a question, but says give us some responsibility. I would say if you want some responsibility, you can go ahead and apply as a delegate. You can access the governance.starknet.io, create a delegate profile, and then try to convince others why you would be the right fit, and then you could have more responsibilities on Starknet, vote on certain proposals that is happening. So yeah, that's a way. It's a great way to get some responsibility. Great. So my question would be regarding the recent changes about the Builders Council. I think a few weeks ago there were some changes happening and some updates. Could you just give us a few updates there, what's happening and how is it going?
Absolutely. So I published a community forum post on December 22nd. The content of that post was, after careful discussion with the Builder Council, the foundation, the governance committee, we decided that we wanted to expand the number of people in the Builder Council to add more diverse set of skills, backgrounds, and overall to offer the opportunity to current members of the Builder Council to maybe rotate their position. So in this, you're hearing this on prime time because we haven't published the announcements yet, and the changes to the multi-sigs are currently being approved by the members of the council. But we have the final changes in the final list. So the Builder Council will now be comprised of 20 members, up from 17. We have 6 members that have decided to leave the council, that have made some recommendation to other people. And following my December 22nd post, we basically opened up an application process for people to be part of the Builder Council. And following this, the governance committee has carefully reviewed all the applications, and we have chosen 9 new members. So 17 minus 6 plus 9, that gets us to 20. So you will see a forum post once I've processed all the changes with the council. I can already give you the new list of members. So the updated Builder Council is, and bear with me, because these are 20 people. We'll have John, co-founder of Aspect and Starscan; Chi, a software developer from Stocknet and from Nethermind and co-founder of Stocknet Malaysia; Jonathan Lay, co-founder and CTO at ZK Land; Julien Nisset, co-founder of Argent; Even, engineer manager of Space Shard; Martin, Cairo lead at Open Zeppelin; Mentor, co-founder of Avenue and community platform Stocknet Ecosystem; Nicholas Baca, former VP Innovation Lab and co-founder of Ledger; Orlando, developer at Snapshot, working on Snapshot X, the trustless voting app; Rohit Goyal, co-founder of Jedi Swap; myself, co-founder of Brick; Loaf, co-founder of Realms and Dojo, and here these are the new members of the council; Marcello Bordes, co-founder and CTO of Herodotus, a storage-proof company; Chris Lexman, co-founder and CEO of on-chain game Influence; Moody Salem, founder of Ekubo, Stocknet AMM; Frico Ben, co-founder of Stocknet ID and Stocknet Quest; Clement Walter, co-founder and CTO of Kakarot. What's up? This is Clement right behind me, actually. Yoav Gaziel, co-founder of Bravos; Matthias, co-founder and CTO of Pragma; and Ahmed, co-founder of Pyramid.
Awesome, great names there, and definitely seems like a great structure and team. So super excited about that, and welcome to the new members to the Builders Council. I believe their inputs will be very valuable to the Builders Council. So super excited about this. There's actually a question from Denny, and the question would be as follows: how to give suggestions to Starknet? Be a delegate to make such a suggestion, or could you be like a simple user?
My advice would be to be involved, first of all, to be involved in your local community if you can find one. You have some local groups, which are always easier to make suggestions there. Overall, you can go on the community forum of Starknet. Let me actually send you the link in the chat. It's community.starknet.io. And this is a forum. So if there's something that you want to bring to everyone's attention, you can create a community forum post. You can interact with other people's, etc., etc. Thank you, Stocknet Foundation, for sending this in the chat.
It's actually me, but yeah. So yeah, make sure to follow that link, and then there you could get engaged with different communities, and from there you can participate in discussions and protocol versions, all sorts of things. So that's really great information. Cool. I think one of my questions, or basically the last questions that I would have, for the Builders Council, what would be the next, let's say, few months roadmap plans for the Builders Council, and what can we expect?
So obviously, our main focus is to continue being the sounding board between the technical teams and the ecosystem as a whole, to continue helping everyone bring about other versions of StockNet. So the current things that are being discussed are turning on the B3 transactions. We're continuing our work here with the Stockware team. We're also discussing with them what could be used for reduction in transaction fees. And obviously, we'll be ready for the vote for B014. Um, I think it would be mostly what we've been doing so far. And knowing that we have also some new members, there will be some getting accustomed to, getting to know each other, and yeah, basically more of the same.
Got it, got it. And in case we want to follow up with the conversations that are happening, where do you suggest for us to access or to go?
The community forum.
The
And
community.
if you are technically inclined, the SNIP process, which are the StockNet improvement proposals, are a great way to see exactly how it's going to go. And as an aside, V013, I think, was also a success because it was part of the SNIP process, meaning that a lot of the proposals were actually discussed way in advance and were part of a whole specification process, which is a first, I think, and it's a great sign for the ecosystem.
Great. Thank you. I'm not entirely sure if there are any more questions from the chat, but I just have a final question towards Sylv, and it's a more of a general question. Could you tell me one thing that you're excited about the StarkNet?
I'm very excited about how would I frame this? Uh, I think we're getting to the point where the public blockchain bit of StockNet works very, very well, in a sense that it's tried and true, it's fast, it will get cheaper over time. So the part that interests me most now are things that rely more on Cairo, more on the provable part of the stack, rather than necessarily the purely on-chain execution. So I'm very interested in seeing people use the prover, use Cairo to build applications and use cases that are not necessarily possible if you happen to do absolutely everything on chain. And overall, I'm also very, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I just seen a funny message in the chat. Um, I'm also very happy seeing a lot of other ecosystem builders finally launch into production, thanks to great improvements in terms of stability, speed, and cost of the network. It's just great seeing everyone that I've been working with on StockNet for 2 years finally ready for prime time.
Yeah, that's great, and yeah, I'm super also excited. I'm super excited about the community and where this is going. I think we come very far away, and yeah, looking forward to the near future and things to be developed and built more on StarkNet. I think that's roughly about it. If you have any other questions for us or for the community, feel free to drop them. Otherwise, I think we can wrap the call. Again, thank you for participating in the 51st community call. Thank you a lot, Sylv. Thank you, the community, for watching us. And make sure to access those links. The first one is the governance starknet.io, and then the second one, the community.starknet.io. And yes, thank you all, and thank you, Sylv.
Thank you for having me. Cheers, everyone.